So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session, we will be discussing Indian Express newspaper. We will try to cover important articles as there was some issue because of which screenshot could not be taken because it was we were not able to download the e-paper from the site. There was some technical glitch maybe. So we will be going through the news. I have made that extensively clear that how which news is important for us. So let's start. We will start with the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and then afterwards we will be moving to the facts of the day. Okay, so we will be talking about the Phalke Awards today in the facts of the day, and then we will be moving to the Know Our Constitution. Today in Know Our Constitution we will be discussing the tribunals. Okay, so we will be tribunals and the kind of tribunals, the constitutional provisions which are there in the you can say with respect to the tribunals. Okay, so we will be talking about tribunals today. And then we will be moving to the articles for our discussion, that is foreign ministers to visit Pakistan. Our foreign minister S. Jaishankar will visit Pakistan for SCO summit. Okay. So that would be one article for our discussion, and after that second is Moizu's visit to India. Maldives President Mohammad Moizud will be visiting India today, and in that regard we will be seeing certain things like how was our past relations and how the stance has been changing and what are the reason behind it. Okay, so we will be talking about that. Then U-turn on the railway recruitments. Okay, so you must have heard in 2019 there was this decision which was made that they will be having a new cadre. Okay, so in railway management services like that. So now they have actually reversed and they have gone back to the old scheme of the recruitment. So we will be seeing that why it is there and what is the old scheme. Okay, so moving further, which was the first language to be recognized as the classical language by the government? We have talked about the classical languages etc. in the last lecture. Why? Because 5 more languages has been given the status of classical languages. Those languages were Pali, Prakrit, Assamese, Bengali and Marathi. Okay, so these languages has been given the, you can say, classical status recently. Okay, and because of which we have talked about the classical status which was started by government in 2004 for the preservation of the languages. Okay, so first language was your Tamil. Okay, so Tamil was the first language, second was Sanskrit. Okay, and now these are the recent one. Now total, earlier we had 6 languages which had the classical status, now 5 more has been added. Total right now we are having 11 languages which are having a classical status. Okay, before moving further I would like to tell you that at all our centers, that is Lucknow, Prayagraj, Jaipur, Karol Bagh, we are having this GS foundation course which is starting on the respective dates. Lucknow center 16th of October, Prayagraj admissions are open, so you can directly visit the center. Jaipur 7th October, that is today, and Karol Bagh, that is 17th October at the respective times which are given over here. You can directly visit the center for the enrollment, or you can call on this number, that is 8010440440. Okay, again 8010440440 for any kind of query. You can call on this number or you can visit the center for the enrollment. Okay, now moving further and starting with the facts of the day. Here we are talking about the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Now this award has been in news because recently it has been awarded to Mithun Chakrabarti. Okay, so that is why it was in news. It is the country's highest film honor, introduced in 1969, conferred for the outstanding contribution for the growth and development of Indian cinema. Okay, so we know that it is given in the field of Indian cinema. It was awarded for the first time to Devika Rani, the first lady of the Indian cinema. This award includes a Swarna Kamal, a cash prize of rupees 10 lakh and a certificate, silk roll and a shawl. Okay, so these are the things which are included in the award. For your information, you can remember this particular point, 10 lakh you can say money prize will also be there. Then it is presented by the President of India. Now this is the authority which is presenting the Dada Saheb Phalke Award. Now when we talk about the person behind whose name this award is given, that is Dundiraj Govind Phalke. Okay, he was an Indian producer, director, and the screenwriter who directed India's first feature film, that is Raja Harishchandra. Now, please remember this particular picture, and if you get a chance, please watch it too. Okay, so Raja Harishchandra, it was released in 1913, and he is known as the father of Indian cinema. Okay, so who is known as the father of Indian cinema? So Mr. Govind Phalke, you can say, is known as father of, you can say, Indian cinema, and this award is presented by President of India. 10 lakh money will also be there, cash prize will be there. Okay, other than that, there will be a Swarn Kamal. First award was awarded to Devika Rani, the first lady of the Indian cinema. Okay, and it is given in the for the outstanding performance in the Indian cinema. Okay, recently it has been awarded to Mithun Chakrabarti. So that is basically the facts of the day for you to remember. Now we can move further with the constitutional discussion. So we have discussed all these part over here. Now we will be discussing the administrative tribunals. Basically we are at the 14th A, part 14A. Okay, all other parts like union and statutory, citizenship, fundamental right, DPSP, fundamental duties, union government, state government, all these things has been discussed. Okay, now let's see the administrative tribunals. In India we are having two articles which are talking about the administrative tribunals. One is your article 323A and second is article 323B. Now with this suffix you can realize that these were added later. Okay, so these were added later through you can say what do you call it, Constitutional Amendment Act. Okay, so 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976 was the act through which the concept of a tribunal was there, but it was made constitutional. Okay, so here you can say constitutional provision for the tribunal in India established through through 42nd Amendment of 1976 are primarily based on article 323A and 323B of the Indian Constitution. Now we will be talking about the both of the article 323A. Okay, so here you can say these are talking about the administrative tribunals. Okay, now administrative tribunals, it with the name itself it is clear it is something it has to do with the bureaucracy. Okay, so here it empowers Parliament to establish a tribunal to adjudicate dispute related to the recruitment, service conditions of a person in public service, whether in connection with the union, state or the local authorities. So basically here they are talking about the recruitment and the service conditions of the bureaucrats, which are, or you can say any person who is there in the public service. Okay, so with respect to that, if there is some kind of dispute, then it will be given to the administrative tribunal and they will be deciding on that. And who has the authority to constitute an administrative tribunal? That is Parliament. Okay, now second provision over here is the Administrative Tribunal Act 1985 was enacted to implement this provision, creating bodies like the Central Administrative Tribunal, that is CAT. Now since Parliament has the power, so Parliament has gone for using that particular power and they have enacted this particular act, that is Administrative Tribunal Act 1985. Okay, through which they have created a body like Central Administrative Tribunal. Okay, again when we talk about article 323A, that is talking about the administrative tribunal, that means that it has something to do with the bureaucracy, and basically these tribunals are there for any kind of dispute resolution with respect to the recruitment and the service conditions of the persons who are there in the public services. Okay, so that is about the article 323A. Now article 323B, these are the tribunals for other matters. Okay, so first they have said that for administrative tribunals there will be a provision. Okay, and for other tribunals there is this another provision, that is article 323B. Now both Parliament and state legislatures in the article 323A, when they were talking about the administration or administrative services, wherein only Parliament has the power. Okay, be it state, be it person of service in the center or the state or the local authority. All these cases Parliament has the power to make a tribunal. Okay, but when we are talking about the other matters, here both Parliament as well as the state legislature has the power to create tribunals for specific matters such as taxation, labor dispute, land reforms, elections, rent control, etc., etc., etc. Okay, provide flexibility for the specialized tribunal dealing with the diverse subject areas, addressing matters for more efficiently than the traditional court. When we talk about the traditional court, they lack the technical, you can say, when we talk about let's say if there is something which is going on with respect to the labor dispute, okay, or taxation. Now the court might lack the fiscal policy or the fiscal, you can say, expertise. Okay, for that when we are going for the tribunals, if there is a tribunal which is related to taxation, there are high chances the technical expert will be there in the tribunal, and that is why it will be a very efficient way to resolve a particular dispute. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now we can move to the next part of our discussion, that is related to our newspaper, and that is Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar will visit Islamabad for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization SCO head of the government meeting. Okay. Now when we talking about the head of the government meeting, and we also have the head of the states meeting. Okay. Now talking about the, you can say, this particular visit, why this is important for us, because this time S. Jaishankar will be going to Pakistan. Okay. Now this will be the first time in last decade, okay, in last 10 years we will be visiting Pakistan, because last time it was Sushma Swaraj who has visited Pakistan in, I guess, 2015. Okay, so Heart of Asia summit was there in 2015. In that particular summit Sushma Swaraj has visited Pakistan. After that, you know that the relations has not been very cordial because of the Pulwama and Uri, etc., and that is why we have you can say made it clear that the terrorism and talks will not go hand in hand. But considering the regionalism, when we talk about this particular regional organization, that is SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it is showing a commitment that India has with the SCO, okay, or India has with the regionalism or the regions issue, that India is putting ahead, or you can say we are taking a step back from some kind of commitment which was made that terrorism and talk is will not go hand in hand, but they have put you can say better interest, or you can say larger interest, you can say ahead of that. Okay. So visit by the Indian Foreign Minister to Pakistan is almost after almost a decade. Earlier Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj had attended the Heart of Asia summit in 2015, and that is why this summit is important for us. Though our Foreign Minister has made it clear that this is, we are not going to have any kind of bilateral talk over here, we will be having just the, you can say, SCO summit and related talks only. Okay. So what is the purpose of this visit? Here you can say to attend the SCO summit. Pakistan holds the SCO chairmanship this year, and that is why it is been hosted by Pakistan this time. The visit will highlight India's commitment to enhance regional cooperation through the multilateral organization. So here we are saying that we are putting ahead the larger interest over here, regions interest, you know, above our own interest. Okay. India has been an active member of SCO, and the summit provides an opportunity to discuss regional security, economic cooperation and connectivity. Former Pakistan Foreign Minister Kabir Bhutto attended the SCO Foreign Ministers Summit, which was held in Goa in May 2023. So from Pakistan side, their foreign minister has visited in May 2023. Okay. Now the purpose of the visit is to participate in SCO summit, which does not have any bilateral discussions on the agenda with Pakistan. Okay. So it is clear that we will not go for any kind of bilateral discussions with respect to the, you can say, relations between the two countries. That is only to attend the SCO summit. Okay. Now moving further, here you can say when we talk about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, permanent intergovernmental international organization which is there, it has you can say origin which was traced back to 2001. Okay, Eurasian political and the economical military organization. So when we are talking about the you can say this particular thing, you cannot say that it is particularly a military organization. Sorry, this was some kind of mistake over here. Anyways, so it has related to the regionalism, or you can say regional cooperations. Okay, so mostly they are talking about the political, economic, and the agenda is related to peace, security and the stability of the region. Okay. Now strengthening the trust, politics, trade, economy, research and technology, that is the objective of this particular organization. Now if we talk about the members, right now this particular organization has 10 members. Okay. So earlier there was 8 members, and then after that Iran was added. Okay. Iran was added in 2023, and then Belarus was recently added in 2024. Okay. So Belarus is the most recent or the youngest member of this particular organization. Okay. So when we talk about the members, here you can say Russia is one of the member, second Kazakhstan, third Kyrgyz Republic, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, India, Pakistan and China. Okay. So these are the countries which are members of, you can say, SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, plus Iran is the 9th one, and 10th is Belarus. Okay. So that is about the SCO. Now we can move further. Here you can see importance of India when we talk about Shanghai Cooperation Organization. So what is the importance for India it holds? Okay, so here you can say SCO provides India with a platform to expand the scope of cooperation with Central Asian countries. Here when we talk about the Central Asian countries, you must have seen that all the Central you can say Asian countries over here, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, these are part of the, this organization. Okay, Turkmenistan is not there, though these are part of this organization. So that is why we are saying that we are having this opportunity over here, or a platform wherein we can have cooperation with the, you can say, Central Asian countries, which have not had particularly close relations with India since formation in 1991. Okay, so when we talk about the formation in 1991, that has happened because of the, you can say, fragmentation of USSR at that point of time. Anyways, it is also important to maintain communication with key actors on the common safety issues in the area. Okay, so basically they are talking about, when we talk about the regional cooperation and the, you can say, now India is following a policy wherein we are trying to have good relations with all the countries, be it small country, larger countries. Okay, so that on that note, we can see that with Central Asian countries also we are trying to have better relations or cordial relations, and that is why SCO works as a good platform for us. Okay, so that is about the SCO summit. Other than that also, when we talk about this organization, you know that Russia is also there. Russia is a, you can say, iron friend, or all you know, all weather friend, you can say. Then when we talk about China, China is there. China, when we talk about China, India and China has a conflicting interest. Okay, but SCO is a platform where these two countries can talk. Okay, so that is there. When we talk about Pakistan, Pakistan is also there. So right now we are not having very, you can say, talkative attitude toward Pakistan, but if we try to go for that, then this particular organization can be a platform over here. Okay, so that is the importance of SCO which we have in you can say our foreign policy. Now moving further to the next one, we are talking about the India and Maldives relations, or you can say the Maldives presidents visiting India. Okay, so what are the implications of this particular visit? Here you can see Muizu meets PM Modi today, says India, aware of the fiscal situation, will ease the burden. Ties between India and Maldives has under strain ever since the President Muizu rose to power last November on the India out election plank. Okay, so when we are talking about the India out election plank or the India out campaign, that was the campaign which was run by his political party and on which he has actually, you can say, won the elections over here. So we can say that at that point of time when he won the elections, he did not have a very cordial you can say inclination towards India, but with time now they can understand what is the, you can say, importance of India for Maldives. So let's see. As the Maldivian President Muizu embarks on the state to visit India, the two nations are poised to address pressing financial concerns, foster deeper bilateral cooperation. This visit aims to reinforce the strategic partnership between Indian Ocean neighbor, that is Maldives, and India. Now they are talking about the financial concerns and the foster deeper bilateral cooperations. Financial concerns because Maldives is going through a difficult economic time. Okay, so basically they are having a debt, but they are not able to, you can say, repay that. Other than that, when we talk about the import cover, so Maldives import cover is somewhere around 1 month or 1.5 months. Okay, so after that they will be needing, you know, some kind of help, and that is why they are thinking that India can be a better partner this time. Okay, so let's see. Muizu acknowledged India's awareness of the Maldives' financial challenges and expressed hope for the continued support as one of the Malay's key development partners. Okay, India has already extended 1.4 billion US dollar in financial aid for infrastructure project, but Maldives faces a looming debt crisis with reserves only covering 1.5 months of the import. Okay, so since they are only having that much of money to cover for the 1.5 months of the import, and you know that Maldives is an island country, most of the economy is dependent on the tourism, etc., so they will not be able to pay the debts. Okay, so that is why now they are basically, you can say, looking towards India. Moody's recently downgraded the Maldives credit rating due to the increasing risk of the default. Since they do not have money to repay the loans, there are high chances that they will go for a default. Okay, though Muizu insists the country will not seek IMF's assistance and will not default on its debt. Now how they are planning to do that, that is a you know, question in my mind, but the thing is they are saying that they will not go for IMF's assistance and they will not go for default as well. So they are looking for other partners and India is on the top of the list. Okay, now here you can see navigating a shifting diplomatic landscape. Now, why we are saying that there is a shifting diplomatic landscape? Because when we talk about the November 2023, when President Moiso came to power, okay, so that time he, you know, that he has actually called for withdrawal of the military personnels, okay, withdrawal of the Indian military personnel which are over there, and they were there to operate equipments which are given by India to Maldives, okay, and that was basically your India out campaign. Now, since they are already out and there are, you can say, civilians which are operating the machinery over here, now they are saying that that India out campaign was not against India, okay, that was not the, you can say, intention behind it. What they wanted was the Maldives first policy, okay. Anyways, that was the case in November 2023, and by the March, I guess March or April, we have gone for the withdrawal of the, you can say, military persons from that particular area, okay. So that time we can say that Maldives has this India out campaign. Moiso's previous stance calling for the withdrawal of the Indian military personnel that has strained the bilateral relationship, that was but obvious. After that, now we can say softening of the stance. Moiso now emphasized that the importance of the open dialogue and Maldives first policy based on the mutual respect, okay. So basically they are saying that Maldives first policy is still you can say is there. They just want that there should be non-interference in the domestic affairs, okay. So that is there. Strengthening the cooperations. The visit aimed to enhance the economic ties, promote people to people connection, and address the Maldives financial challenges. Now, why people to people connect? Because as I told you, Maldives is a tourism based economy, and most of them are from China, and most of the tourists are from China and India, okay. So that is why it is important for them to have good people to people ties, okay. Now, India is also trying to make an alternative destination to Maldives, that is basically Lakshadweep, okay. But you should remember that, because that has been in the news, because our Prime Minister has visited that particular place and there was some kind of controversy which has started from Maldives side at that point of time as well. So that has also you can say strengthens our tie. Now, India views the Maldives as a key maritime neighbor in the Indian Ocean region and part of its Sagar security and growth for all in the region initiative and the neighborhood first policies. When we are talking about these all three policies over here, that when we talk about looking in the neighborhoods, when we see that neighborhood first policy is in place, other than that our Sagar initiatives is there. So Maldives is a key player, and that is why India do not want to lose such an ally. So let's see what this particular meeting holds for us. Now, let's move further. We are talking about the U-turn on the railway recruitment policies, okay. So in 2019, there was this decision that they will be coming up with the Indian Railways Management Service, a new cadre, or you can say, okay, and they have said that this particular service through which they will be going for the, you can say, recruitment of the administrators in the you can say railway services, okay. But recently they have shifted from this particular 2019's decision. They have repealed these decisions and now they have went back to the old model, wherein there are two services. One is your, you can say, railway service, and second will be your engineering service, okay. Indian Engineering Service and Indian Railway Service, okay. So considering that, now they are saying that we will be going back to that particular time wherein the administrators were recruited through the, you can say, Indian Railway Services, and the IAS exam was there for the technicians or the technical experts like civil, electrical, mechanical engineers, okay. So that was there. Now, why is that they are going further, or you can say they are going to the old model? So let's see. The Indian government has repealed its old recruitment processes for Indian Railways, under which recruitment of railway officers will be done through the both civil services, that is CSC, and the engineering services, that is you can say your Indian Engineering Service examinations, okay. Now conducted by the UPSC. Now both of these examinations are basically conducted by UPSC, okay. So one was you can say civil services exams, through which the, you can say, members of the administrations were selected, and when we are talking about the you can say engineering services examinations, through which the engineers or the technicians were selected over here, okay. This decision repeals the 2019 changes which was had limited entry for the Indian Railway Management Services IRMS through CSEs. At that point of time, when we are talking about 2019 decision, that was also done through the civil services examinations, but that particular engineering services was not actually included in that. Okay. Now, why is that they are actually going back to that? Why? What is the problem with the 2019's, you can say, proposal? Okay. So, railway was unable to recruit the relevant military services. So, I mean, sorry, that is not military, relevant technical services. Okay. When we talk about the technical, you can say, people who are there to look into the engineering related or the electricity related issues with respect to the railways. So, they were not able to go for the, you can say, these kind of services, or you can say proper recruitment of these services, because a person who is coming from the CSE, civil services examination, he does not have, he might not have the technical expertise with respect to the engineering. Okay. So, there are high chances a person from the humanity background can be getting selected for the Indian Railway Management Services. Okay. So, that is why they were not able to, you can say, go for the selection of the technicians over here. Now, it was difficult to fill posts in the specialized areas like technicians, civil, mechanical, electrical engineers, electricians, signal and the communication engineers for the railways. Okay. So, basically they are saying that they could not you can say get better engineers through that particular examinations. This increased the dependence on the promotions and the subordinate. When we talk about those people who are having the promoted ranks and the subordinates, so there was a burden on these people, because these were the person who was having some kind of experience in the field, and these newcomers or the new recruits did not have much idea about the field. Okay. So, that is why it was, they were dependent on these two cadres over here. The objective of the conducting ECE, sorry, ESE, that is engineering service examination, is to provide a competent pool of eligible candidate who are capable of meeting the specific strategic and the managerial requirement of the Indian Railways. So, basically here they are going back to that particular before 2019 regime, because they think that that would be better for us to when we are talking about the recruitment of the efficient engineers, that would be the better examination. Okay. So, that is why they are going back to the old scheme. Okay. I hope that is clear. Now, we can move further to the next one. Bihar floods. Behind the floods in Bihar, when we talk about the recent time, we have seen that Bihar and Nepal are witnessing some kind of floods. When we talk about Bihar, Bihar is anyways is a flood prone area, and why is that? Because there are various rivers. Okay. There are various kind of rivers which are there, and so there are various kind of floods as well. Okay. So, let us see, Bihar is India's most flood prone state. When we are talking about the flood prone states, Bihar is having 76% of its North Bihar's population, which is under the threat of the recurring floods. Okay. 76% population of the northern Bihar, they are on the risk of the floods. Okay. So, that is the issue which Bihar is facing. The state's river, both snow fed, that is Himalayan river you can say, and the rain fed, because of the monsoon, if the you can say surplus is there, contribute to the different kind of flooding categorized by the Disaster Management Authority into 4 classes. One is your flash floods. Okay. Suddenly, if there is a rise in the level of water in a particular river, and because of which there is a flood, that is flash flood. Then river floods, because of the water in the rivers, if there is a slow or gradual increase in that, or the rainfall is like that. Okay. So, that is there. Drainage congestions in an area where a lot of water is there, but the path is very limited, and then there, because of the congestion also there can be floods. And the permanent waterlogged areas, these you can understood as the Tarai regions, and when there is a surplus of water, that can also result into floods. Okay. Now, if you talk about the flood with the highest death toll, so here you can see since 1977 we have witnessed this much floods, and we have witnessed you can say that toll is also given, which is decreasing, because obviously government is trying to do various things. We are having this early warning system, etc., and because of this death toll is decreasing. But still, if it is around 2000 to 2500, that is a huge you can say loss to the humanity. Anyways, now here you can see rivers from Himalayas including Kosi, Gandak, Bagmati and others carry heavy sediment loads, causing them to overflow during the rains due to the region's young mountain geography. Okay. Because of the young mountain geography, or you can say since mountains are still rising, so congestion is there, and because of which there can be floods. Okay. That is one thing. Second thing is, if mountains are young, that means erosion will be there, and if erosion is there, that means a lot of sediments are coming with the water and they are getting deposited at the, you can say, river bed, and because of which the water level is rising of the rivers. Okay, if there is a monsoon, or if there is you can say snow fed rivers are there, and there is a lot of sediment which is there on the river bed, and because of which you will see that rivers are rising, and that can lead to floods as well. Kosi river is also known as the sorrow of Bihar. It is particularly destructive, and embankments built on the in the 1950s have failed to fully contain the flood waters. Now, why Kosi is called a sorrow of Bihar? Because the thing is, Kosi has this tendency to shift the river course. Okay, so that is why it is called as sorrow of Bihar. Now you will tell me in the comment box that which river is considered as the sorrow of Bengal. Okay, and here you can see there are these rivers which are given from the Nepal's part. We are having various rivers which are coming to India. So here you can say Mahananda is there, then Kosi is there, then here Bagmati is there, which we have already discussed in the news on map. Other than that, we have this Budi Gandak which is there, and then Ganga and Gandak. All these rivers are there. This is Gandak, this is Budi Gandak, then this is Gagra, Son, you can say, and ultimately these are going into Ganga. Okay, so this is your Ganga. So now moving further, we will be seeing that in 2024 heavy rainfall in Nepal occurred and releases water from the Birpur barrage on the Kosi river. Now please remember these two names. One is your Birpur barrage, that is in Nepal. So Birpur barrage in Nepal, which is built on the Kosi river, led to the highest flood level in the 6 decades because the water has released from that particular barrage. Okay, despite fewer casualties in recent years, the economic cost of floods is substantial. The state government is spending 1,000 crores annually on the flood management and relief. The flood mitigation strategies include both structural, that is dam, embankment, and the non-structural solutions, that is policies, risk reduction, early warning systems, etc. Okay, so this becomes an issue of disaster management for you. So please remember that as well. Now, given the Bihar's unchanged geography, emphasis is placed on the better flood preparedness, including the timely warnings and rapid response and the community training. Now they are saying that unchanging Bihar's geography, because geography takes a lot of time, a million of years to change. Okay, so what we can do is, we cannot change the geography. What we can do is that we can try to go for the disaster management. How will you do that? With, you can say, here you can say emphasis placed on the better flood preparedness, including the timely warning. Early warning should be there, okay, so that the people of that particular area can go for the evacuation. Okay, rapid responses and community training in case of such situation, how the community should respond to that particular, you can say, disaster. Okay, so all these things are there with respect to the disaster management in Bihar. So that is about the floods in Bihar. Now we can move further to the next one. China's control for the critical minerals. Okay, now when we talk about the critical minerals which are important for the electronics industry, okay, so minerals like you can say gallium, germanium, which are there. Now China is having a kind of, you can say, monopoly in the supply chain. So considering that, USA has gone for some kind of program which is focusing on the critical minerals. Okay, so let's see. Amid rising concerns over China's control of the critical minerals, which allowed it to dominate the clean tech supply chain, particularly in the solar equipments and the electrical vehicle manufacturing, India and US signed an agreement on to strengthen the critical mineral supply chain. Okay, so now they are looking at options so that they can strengthen the supply chain if China is not providing for it. Okay, so here you can say this follows a series of unexpected curbs imposed by China, including the restriction on the export of gallium and the germanium. Now these are critical minerals, and China has imposed a export ban that Chinese people cannot export these gallium and germanium, and because of which, or as a per se, they have also said that they cannot go for the export of the technology, or you can say they cannot go for the technology transfer as well. So in that regard, when this decision was there from China, so that is why USA and India has decided to go for, you can say, strengthening the critical mineral supply chain. Okay, now here you can say a ban on the exporting technology for the manufacturing rare earth magnets as well as technology to extract and separate the critical minerals. On such things China has put a ban. Now here you can see mineral security finance network. With respect to this particular, you can say, issue, we have this financial network which is there, mineral security finance network. India is now formally a part of mineral security finance network, that is a USA led initiative. Please remember that it is a USA led initiative aiming to strengthen the cooperation among the members to secure supply chains for the critical minerals. Now securing the supply chain or strengthening the supply chains, that means that we are not dependent on a particular country. When we talk about the COVID time, you know that there was this you can say some kind of constraint which was felt along the supply chain because China was not able to export things. Okay, so considering that, we have taken you can say lesson from that, and we have said that in the other areas like critical minerals, etc., which are the future, okay, because we are going for the solar panels, we are going for the clean technology, we are going for the electrical vehicles, etc. For all these things we require these critical minerals. Okay, and if China is putting export ban on this, so we should be ready for our you can say next steps in the future. So that is why we are having this mineral security finance network, which is a USA based initiative, and India has become part of it. Okay, now the Mineral Security Finance Network, MSFN, is a new initiative that stems from the Mineral Security Partnership, MSP, a framework established by the United States in 2022. India was inducted to the MSP in June 2023. Okay, then the MSP grouping industry insiders said that it is focused on the supply chain of the minerals such as cobalt, nickel, lithium, and also the 17 rare earth minerals. Okay, so these are the minerals in which the MSP will be dealing with, and this MSP, or basically the Mineral Security Finance Network, is part of the MSP regime. Okay, so basically for your information, just know that this Mineral Security Finance Network or the MSP, these are the initiatives by USA, and India is part of it, and they are dealing with the critical minerals like cobalt, nickel, lithium, etc. Okay, so that is about this article. Now we can move further to the next one, that is talking about the Belt and Road Initiative, China's ambitious global infrastructure project. Now why we are talking about this particular thing is that when we talk about the, you can say, international sphere, there was this editorial. First of all, there was this editorial, and from which we have taken this. Now when we talk about this particular issue of, you can say, Belt and Road Initiative, one, India has problem with respect to the BRI passing through, you can say, that particular area of Aksai chain. Okay, you know that that area is India's area, which has been, you can say, illegally occupied by the, you can say, China after the 1962 war. Okay, so because of which India has the issue with respect to that. Second thing is, if China has this kind of projects, okay, then it will be having a better connectivity throughout every particular area. Okay, so that is why also India is having some kind of concerns. Okay, so let's see. Now, Belt and Road Initiative is China's grand strategy to enhance connectivity and cooperation between countries through large-scale infrastructure projects, including railways, highways, ports, energy systems, etc. It aims to revitalizing the ancient trade route. You must have heard about the ancient Silk Route, etc., etc. So these were the ancient trade routes. Okay, so basically they are trying to connect the Europe with the Asia. They are trying to connect the Europe with the China. Okay. And why China is doing that? Because right now China is doing the trade through the Malacca Strait, and you know that Malacca Strait is a choke point, and in this area now we are, you know, going for the infrastructure development at Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing, USA is having a base in Diego Garcia. Okay, and UK is also present over there. So considering all these, you can say, things, they are, you know, kind of insecure in this region, and that is why they are going for such projects. Okay, now let's talk about the components of the BRI. So there are infrastructure development. Okay, so that is first component. Here you can say BRI focus on the building and upgrading the transportation, energy, communication systems across the continents linking Asia, Europe and Africa. Okay, so these are the three components which they are trying to, you can say, integrate into one thing. Now second is financing and the investment. Now you know that China has the big pockets. Okay, China try to give loans to the countries. When countries are not able to, you can say, repay the loan, they go for taking their islands on the lease, etc. So they try that some kind of transaction is there. Okay, so if you are not able to repay the loan by this particular time, then you have to give this island for the 99 years of the lease. I am talking about the Hambantota Island, okay, of Sri Lanka, which has been given to the 99 years of the lease to China because Sri Lanka was not able to repay the debts. Okay, so considering that, you can say they are going for the financing and investment. Now behind this financing and investment, they have a hidden target, that is basically you can say debt trap, which is there. Okay, so we will talk about that later. China offers large loans to participating countries, often creating long-term financial obligations and increasing their economic dependence on the China. So basically that is what is the concept of debt trap, wherein you are giving loans to them, and now since they are not able to pay it back, that is why they are kind of dependent on China for their economic you can say requirements, etc. Okay, so that is their financing and the investment. China is giving big loans to the participating countries over here. Okay, now Maldives was also one of the you can say a victim to this particular thing. Now geopolitical influence, if we see, BRI allows China to increase global influence, securing key trade routes and the strategic assets, especially in developing nations. Okay, so basically obviously connectivity will increase. If connectivity will increase, that means that geographical influence of the geopolitical influence of the China will increase. Okay, so that is a kind of a direct challenge to the US's hegemony, if you can say. Now moving further here, concerns and the implication. First, we have seen that there is this debt trap diplomacy. Okay, so wherein they are providing loans, and since you are not able to repay the loan, then you have to be dependent over there. Many countries involved in the BRI have taken substantial debt, leading to economic dependence on China and providing it with the political leverages. Now because of the political leverages, they have to give some kind of you can say in return to that, they have to give some kind of, let's say, island for the lease, or you can say a particular military base or something like that. So that is the debt trap diplomacy which is used by China. Second is strategic port control. Now China is saying that they are going for the you can say BRI, and they are going for the connectivity project. Now let's see, you must have heard of the string of pearls. Now under BRI, they are taking some kind of ports, let's say one is here, second is here, third is here, let's say India is somewhere over here, and they are trying to take a port from you can say Myanmar. They are trying to take a port in Indonesia. They are trying to take a port in somewhere in the some kind of island in Indian Ocean. Then one port in Djibouti in Africa. Then Gwadar port somewhere over here by Pakistan. So they are trying to cover you can say India like this. That is the policy of string of pearls. Okay. Now that is the strategic port control. Now they are trying to take control of the strategic ports. That is another issue which is there with respect to you can say BRI. China's investment in the ports such as the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka allows it to secure crucial trade routes and potentially serve naval purposes. Okay, so for the naval or military purposes as well as for the trade purposes also, these ports are strategic and China is having control over that. Okay. Moving further, geopolitical ambitions. Obviously China, you know that China has expansionist policy. China tried to go for the aggressions various times. So geopolitical ambitions, when we talk about with respect to targeting the hegemony of USA, or you can say targeting India in this Asian region. So these are also some ambitions which are there, which are kind of concern for India as well. Now here you can say China's BRI investment in Indian Ocean region demonstrate its broader geopolitical ambitions, potentially affecting the regional stability. Okay, so this is about the BRI, all the concerns. For you can say definitely you can write one answer with respect to all these pointers. Now we can move further. When we talk about India's stance on BRI, we are having these sovereignty concerns, because we know that one part is passing through the part of India's territory, so that is why we are having concern. Okay, India has consistently opposed the BRI due to the sovereignty issues, particularly regarding the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, that is CPEC. Okay, so that is passing through the Indian land. Then moving further, geopolitical influence, which we have already seen geopolitical implications. India is concerned about the political impact of China's infrastructure projects in the Indian Ocean region on the regional stability, because this will increase the China's influence in the region. Okay. Economic concerns, because India has expressed concern about the lack of transparency and the potential for the unfair competition in the BRI projects. Now let's see, BRI connectivity project was a successful project, and now China is having their own supply chains. Okay, they are having their own sea routes. They are going for the you can say exports. Now China is already been you can say condemned for the exporting cheap products, or you can say a particular word that is used for this, that is dumping, and that dumping will impact India as well, because the chief you can say cheap material, cheap products will be entering into Indian markets as well. Now, strategic concern, India fears that the China's BRI could use to strengthen its military presence in the region and you can say exert strategic influence, which we have already talked about it, considering the string of pearls. Okay. Now, in the end, we have this practice question for you. Which of the following countries is not a founding member of SCO? China, Russia, India or Kazakhstan? You have to tell which of the following is not a founding member of SCO. Okay. Anyway, so you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave, and if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.